Have you ever wondered if something you did in a past life is affecting you now? Maybe you've heard that extreme suffering is karmic payback for past wrongdoings. But what if I told you that's not exactly how karma works? Today, I'm going to answer a powerful subscriber question about the real truth about past life karma, why some souls seem to choose difficult experiences, and most importantly, how you can stop unconscious karmic patterns from shaping your future. Let's dive in. Hi, I'm Jose De Castro, and I help spiritual entrepreneurs get unstuck by helping them reconnect to their authentic selves. If that resonates with you, be sure to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's get right down to it. This question comes from a subscriber named Thomas who asked the following question. Why do some souls that are reborn as humans willingly accept extreme physical suffering? It is said that this is due to having committed many wrongdoings in their past lives, resulting in karmic retribution in this life. So how can others who are currently reborn as humans, including myself, and who are not experiencing extreme physical suffering at this moment know if they will face such karmic retribution in the future? I will express my question in the simplest way. How can I know if I will be cruelly, physically abused in the future, such as being tortured by a killer? That would be terrible. This is a big question because it brings up a lot of misconceptions about karma that have been influenced by the Western idea of a punishing God. Many people think of karma as some cosmic judge keeping score of our good and bad actions, handing out rewards and punishments across lifetimes. But that's a huge misunderstanding. Karma is not about punishment, it's about balance. Karma is actually a Sanskrit word that literally means action and refers to both actions and the consequences of actions. The main idea is that each action we take makes it that much more likely that we will repeat that action in the future, just like momentum in physics. So the problem isn't karma itself. The problem is that most people are unconscious of how it's operating in their lives. So let's break it down. Karma is not about paying for past sins. Instead, think of it as a self-correcting mechanism, a force that guides us towards greater alignment with truth. Every action you take, every decision sets a pattern in motion, and that pattern tends to repeat until you make a conscious choice to change it. For example, if someone in a past life repeatedly acted dishonestly, whether through lying, stealing, or manipulating others, they didn't just create consequences for others, they also trained themselves to default to dishonesty. That means in this life, they might find it incredibly easy to resort to deception, even in small ways, maybe bending the truth in conversations, cutting corners in business, or making promises they don't keep. Not because they're bad or being punished, but because past actions have built a kind of muscle memory in their consciousness. Karma is less about external forces acting upon you and more about the habits of action that become second nature. But here's the key. Just like any habit, it can be changed. The moment they recognize the pattern and make a conscious effort to act with integrity, they start rewiring their karmic momentum in a new direction. Now, how does karma carry over from one lifetime to another? Think of it like this. Imagine your soul as the same person, but each lifetime is a new outfit. The body changes, but the deeper self, the soul, remains the same. And just like wearing a new outfit doesn't erase your personal history, being born into a new body doesn't erase your karmic momentum. Strong karmic imprints don't always hit immediately. Sometimes they shape early life circumstances like the family you're born into, your inexplicable fears, or even recurring struggles you face as a child. But sometimes karma does in fact remain dormant, waiting for a key moment like a relationship, crisis, or spiritual awakening to trigger it. This is why some people seem to experience sudden, intense life challenges out of nowhere. What appears to be a karmic hit is usually the culmination of long-standing energetic imbalances. The soul often has multiple chances to deal with an issue gradually, but if it resists, the lesson eventually arrives in a way that cannot be ignored. But what happens when someone keeps ignoring these karmic whispers? When life presents them with multiple opportunities to break the cycle and they just don't? Let's go back to our example of someone who in a past life engaged in dishonesty, whether through lying, stealing, or manipulating others. They carried that momentum into this lifetime where deception comes naturally. Not necessarily in extreme ways, but in the small unconscious habits, exaggerating a little to make themselves look better, making promises they don't intend to keep, cutting ethical corners in business. At first, the universe nudges them. Maybe a close friend calls them out. Maybe they lose an opportunity because they weren't fully honest. Small wake-up calls. But instead of seeing these as signs to shift, they justify their behavior. Everyone does it, they tell themselves. It's not that big of a deal. Then the universe turns up the volume. Relationships start to break down because no one fully trusts them. Business deals collapse because their reputation catches up to them. Money struggles intensify because their foundation isn't built on integrity. And if they still don't listen, that's when karma shouts. Maybe they get publicly exposed in a way that shatters their carefully crafted image. Maybe they face a legal or financial disaster that forces them to finally confront the consequences of their choices. Maybe they end up in a situation where they are deceived in a way so devastating that they have no choice but to feel what they've inflicted on others. This isn't punishment. This is the karmic self-correction mechanism at work. The soul was given many opportunities to resolve this pattern gently, but the longer they resisted, the more intense the wake-up call had to become. This is why it's so important to recognize karmic patterns early, because when you address them consciously, you can rewrite the story before it escalates. You don't have to wait for a karmic crisis to make a change. You can choose differently right now. Regarding the idea of whether our souls choose difficult experiences, there are many metaphysical sources that attest to this. But why would anyone choose a hard life on purpose? It seems counterintuitive. Wouldn't we all just pick easy, abundant, joyful lives if we had a choice? Well, according to sources like the Law of One, Bashar's teachings, and Dolores Cannon's past life regressions, the soul isn't choosing based on what the ego wants. It's choosing based on evolution. In the Law of One, it's explained that the soul incarnates into specific circumstances that provide the optimal catalyst for growth. This means that a challenging life, whether that's poverty, illness, betrayal, or isolation, is not a punishment, but a carefully designed learning experience. Difficulties force deep introspection, shake us out of complacency, and push us toward awakening. Bashar expands on this by saying that before we incarnate, we actually excite ourselves about certain challenges because they provide the exact lessons we need to accelerate our soul's expansion. Imagine a gamer picking the hardest difficulty setting, not to suffer, but because it's the most rewarding. Dolores Cannon's regression work also revealed that many souls volunteer for intense lifetimes to clear old karma rapidly or to assist in the transformation of the collective. Some souls specifically take on hardship not just for themselves, but to help shift humanity's consciousness as a whole. So if your life has been difficult, this doesn't mean you're being punished. It means your soul saw an opportunity. The question is, are you seeing it too? Are you using your challenges as a way to step into deeper awareness? Because the sooner we recognize the lesson, the sooner we can evolve beyond the suffering. And if this is clicking for you right now, if you're getting those aha moments, hit the like button. Not just because it helps the algorithm, which it does, but because this tells me that I should go even deeper into topics like this in future videos. Let's get back to it. So the question becomes, how can you work with karma so it doesn't sneak up on you later? Here's what I recommend. Number one, spend more time in presence. Start observing your thoughts instead of just reacting to them. Remember that karma is action. So what you want to do is catch your thoughts before acting on them. Not every thought requires action. This is how you break karmic cycles. You stop reinforcing unconscious behaviors and instead make conscious choices. Number two, when you face challenges, stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what do I need to learn from this? Karma isn't about making you suffer. It's about giving you a chance to course correct. The sooner you get the lesson, the less the lesson has to escalate. Because, let's be real, if you don't listen when the universe whispers, it will eventually shout. And this is the bottom line. There is no use in worrying about karmic retribution. Why? Because as powerful divine beings, we manifest what we fixate on. If you're constantly imagining suffering in the future and charging that vision with strong emotions like fear or guilt, you're creating the very thing you fear. Instead, shift your focus. Start aligning with higher choices now. Break karmic loops by making different decisions now. You are not a victim of your past. You are a creator of your future. And this is where deep inner work becomes everything. Because if you're an entrepreneur or on any path of spiritual evolution, these karmic patterns show up everywhere. Your business challenges, your visibility struggles, your money mindset, they're not just strategy problems. They're unconscious karmic imprints. Most business coaches focus on tactics. I focus on causes. The unconscious mind is where all real transformation happens. If you're ready to break through the hidden blocks that are holding you back, not just spiritually, but in how you show up in the world, I'd love to work with you. Check out the link in the description to book a free 15-minute discovery call to find out how we can go deep into this work together. And now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What's one karmic pattern you've noticed in your life, whether it's relationships, money, or purpose? Let's open up this conversation. Make sure you're subscribed for more deep dive content on spiritual growth and breaking free from unconscious limitations. And until next time, keep on evolving. Hey friend, if you enjoyed this video, click here for another one you might like, click here for a playlist that might interest you, and subscribe for more content.